What I hear you say, another mystery box of books so soon after the last one? Yep. So what happened is the book Grocer, New Zealand's operation of the Australian-based company, had a flash sale last week, and you got 20% off a box of books, and if you bought more than one, you got free shipping. So I saved myself around $50 something by buying 2 boxes at the same time. And today I'm going to open mystery box number 4 and see if what type of selection they give us this time. Now, for those who haven't watched my other videos, I'm Kerry Ferran. I run this YouTube channel, Christchurch Review of Books. I usually just review books and sometimes recently film footage of hedgehogs walking around in the daylight. And anyway, the book Grocer, like I said, it's an Australian-based company. Last year they set up here in New Zealand, and all they sell in New Zealand are these bargain boxes of books, such as this. And you can get themed boxes, different genres, different styles of books, all round around the $100 mark, plus shipping, which is usually an extra $10. I've always been intrigued by the mystery book boxes that you don't know what you're going to get, so it's a bit of fun finding out what they've sent you. A couple of days ago, as you may have seen in the video, I opened their mystery box 3, and it's a little disappointing. About 5 or 6 books in that I actually received in one of their earlier mystery boxes, despite on the website saying that they won't repeat things, they actually had. So let's see if we got a better selection this time. So this is mystery box 4 from the Book Grocer. Now the Book Grocer URLs are either in Australia bookgrocer.com or in New Zealand www.bookgrocer.co.nz. Okay, without further ado, I shall pull out the magic box knife and cut her open. I'm sure this is making riveting viewing. Right, box is open. Okay, first thing you find is a little bit of paper on top. Every day is a book day. Can't disagree with that. Another I Love Books bookmark. Packing paper. More packing paper. This is a bit different. More packing paper. Even more packing paper. It's getting a bit boring, folks. Oh, something different. Another tote bag. So I've got 3 of these now from them. I think in mystery box 2, 3 and 4 they've given me tote bags. Nothing wrong with tote bags. It can come in handy, I suppose. Right, so let's get down to it. Okay, the first thing I see is Photocard Memory, and it is some type of card game. You have to match cards with the cards are divided into 2 halves, and you have to match the halves or something similar to that. Match and reveal 25 iconic photos. So that is something certainly different than what I've had in the earlier boxes. Next up, 50 Easy Party Cakes. Recipe book of cakes like for kids. So there you go. Another recipe book. Gluten-free instant pot cookbook. There we go. Lovely recipes, looking nice in the artful photos. Here we go, something lovely there. Right, next up, Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Okay, looks like a reproduction version of the old book which inspired Apocalypse Now, and yeah, it looks like it's from some range of pulp reproductions. Interesting. There we go. Jed Mercurio's Ascent, creator of Bodyguard and Line of Duty. A completely gripping read-at-once novel. Looks like a Russian rocket booster on the front. What's this all about? Destined to go down in Soviet history books as Ivan the Terrible, most deadly fighter pilot of the Korean War, Yevgeny recklessly loses everything in pursuit of the perfect mission. Exiled to a remote Arctic base, his name unknown, his victories uncelebrated, he must endure a fate worse than death. Then a man arrives from the Space Committee in search of a volunteer prepared to sacrifice himself for his country. Yevgeny seizes his one last chance of immortality. Kind of interesting. Space, aviation, Soviet Union. Some things that interest me, so I might put this one aside and read it sometime. Next up. Looks like some type of romance, costume, drama type thing again. That is Freedom's Land. She would give up everything she knew for her child. Noah, his husband, were killed in the Great War, and she's struggling to provide a home for her daughter. Andrew's wife is dead, and he wants to make a new life for his sons. And they end up in Australia, where the government's giving away land. Okay, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen these days. Oh yes, it says 1923. Here we go. Capture or Kill. Tom Marcus. Okay, I've heard of this fellow. He goes around claiming he was some type of specialist team member from MI5 and some type of military side of the agency. I'm not sure how much he's believed, but he has made a small hobby from producing these books and made a bit of money. So might be interested to see what the fuss is about. Oh, it's in pretty big print. There we go. Matt Logan is an MI5 agent for the British government working for the front line of counter-terrorism. He's trained to protect citizens against all threats. Blah, blah, blah. Next up, White Nights, a Colombian Odyssey by Austin Galt. What have we got here? Australian writer Austin Galt arrived in Colombia looking for a life less ordinary. He found it, or did it find him? On his first day as country, he was hauled off a bus and looking down the barrel of a gun, he was detained and questioned by the AK-47 toting Revolutionary Armed Forces. Welcome to Colombia. Okay, it's a bit of a travel journal, I believe, with some nice photos in the middle. Here we go. Colombia, the locals. Used to be a sucker for these dangerous places type travel things, so I might read that one as well eventually. What have we got next? Fat, the secret organ. The surprising science behind the most misunderstood part of the body. Okay, there we go. Non-fiction thing about fat. Now, fat has become a dirty word. Doctors expect patients and obesity researchers Marriott Brom and Professor Lisbeth Van Rossum present the groundbreaking findings that may expose many of the myths and prejudices surrounding body fat. Okay, bit of non-fiction, bit of medical stuff there. Next up. This is how it always is. This is Claude. He's 5 years old, the youngest of 5 brothers, and loves peanut butter sandwiches. He also loves wearing a dress and dreams of being a princess. When he grows up, Claude says he wants to be a girl. Shock horror. Better read that before it gets banned. Next up, A Season of Spells, Book 3 of the Midnight Queen trilogy. Some type of magical realism, fantasy type thing going on here. And obviously I haven't read the first 2, so it will probably make 0 sense to me. After 3 years of study at the University Dunedin, Sophie and Gray return to London escorting Lucia McNeil, heiress of Alba. She meets the British prince who she is betrothed to. Okay. Next up. 30-second classical music. 50 most significant genres, composers and innovators, each explained in half a minute. Pretty good. Classical music, always wanted to learn more about it. I'm not listening to too much of it lately. I'm in more of a classic rock type of mode, it seems, when I listen to the radio. But this looks interesting. All the composers and artists each get a page or 2 each. There we go, there's Felix Mendelssohn. Richard Wagner. Yeah, that looks quite handy. So that's something good. And I have not had one repeat book so far out of this box. Nothing here I have seen before. Here's another one, Mary Atkins, When You Read This. For 4 years, Iris Massey worked side to side with her PR maven Smith Samoy, helping clients perfect their brands. But Iris has died, taken by terminal illness. Just without his friend and colleague, Smith is surprised to discover in the last 6 months, Iris created a blog filled with sharp and often funny musings on the end of a life not quite fulfilled. She also made one final request for Smith to get her post published as a book. Okay. It's kind of a novel made up of blog posts and emails and diagrams and stuff. It looks quite interesting. Next up, Devil's Knot. Okay, something that's been made into a movie. Let's see, what is it? For 3 weeks in 1993, the grisly murders of the 8-year-old boys, police in West Memphis, Arkansas, seemed stumped. Then suddenly detectives charged 3 teenagers, alleged members of a satanic cult, with the killings. Jurors sentenced Jason Baldwin and Jesse Miss Kelly to life imprisonment, and Damien echoes the accused ringleader to death. Guilty verdicts were popular in their home state, even upheld on appeal. All 3 remained in prison until their unprecedented release in August 2011. Now in a major film starring Colin Firth and Reese Witherspoon. Award-winning investigative journalist Mara Leveretti presents the most comprehensive, insightful reporting done on this story. Okay, so it is a non-fiction book with a drama movie tie-in cover. It's a little odd. Okay. Next up, The Art Dealer List. Simplify, Organize and Enrich Your Life by Dominic Leroux. The international bestseller, apparently. And it is all tips on writing lists of things. Dieting notebook, conversations with your body, all sorts of things, meals, accounts, recipes for happiness. Okay, a bit of a self-help thing perhaps. Oh, here's one that my sister might like. Bruce. The first serious Bruce Springsteen biography for 25 years by Peter Ames Carlin. I suppose if you're a big fan, you've probably already read this, but sweeping biography of one of America's greatest musicians, and the first in 25 years to be written with the cooperation of Springsteen himself. With unfettered access to the artist, his family and bands, men with acclaimed music writer Peter Ames Carlin presents an intimate and vivid portrait. There we go. Next up, read this if you want to be YouTube famous. Very appropriate. So you want to be a YouTuber, but your videos only get a handful of views and your fan base doesn't seem to grow. How come you haven't made it big yet? Well, read this if you want to be a YouTube famous. Gives you everything you need to make videos that will net you millions of subscribers and the money to match. Sure. Okay, looks a bit of light on actual content, lots of illustrations, and lists and bullet lists and that type of thing. I'll give it a read, see if I can become YouTube famous. Next up, Why the Pain, What's the Gain? The Quest for Extreme Fitness. Here we go. More than ever before, we are lifting bigger, running further, working out harder. Our arrival onto high-intensity fitness raises a simple yet profound question. Why do we work out? Why the pain, what's the gain takes a toll on humankind's 3,000-year-old pursuit for the perfect workout. Okay, not my type of thing, but, you know, interesting maybe. Okay, Life in Code, A Personal History of Technology by Alan Allman. Life in Code is original. It reads like a memoir, personal and compelling, but it's also a set of savvy reflections about the unfolding of digital culture as it became mainstream culture and we all learned to live with its aesthetic values and politics. Okay. The ever more necessary return of one of our most vital and eloquent voices on technology and culture. Okay, it's a bit how our lives have changed in the last 20 years due to technology. Could be interesting. At the bottom of the box on that side, The Adventures of John Carson in Several Quarters of the World. Okay. Award-winning author Brian Doyle's inspired take on Robert Louis Stevenson's planned but unwritten picaresque novel. Can't quite tell if this is fiction or non-fiction. Interesting. What does it say here? A novel of Robert Louis Stevenson. So someone's written something in the style of Robert Louis Stevenson. There we go. Another one, Emily Richards, A Family of Strangers. All her life, Ryan Gacy watched her perfect older sister from afar, knowing she could never top Wendy's achievements. She didn't even try instead. Ryan forged her own pathway, a family barely seemed to notice. Okay, family drama, contemporary fiction, that type of thing. What else have we got here? Sheila O'Flanagan, the #1 best-selling author, My Mother's Secret. Okay, another one of these type of books. When Steffi helps out her two siblings organise a surprise wedding anniversary party for their parents, her only worry is that they will be pleased. She doesn't know that this is not the day her whole world will be turned upside down. Trouble reading that, actually. Jenny wants to celebrate her ruby anniversary with the man she loves, but for 40 years she has kept a secret that can't bear to hide any longer. Is it ever the right time to hurt the people closest to you? Okay. Netta Zeno Walshot's Hench. Okay, Walshot's playfully pokes at both office politics and comic book absurdity while offering gripping action and gut-wrenching body horror. Inventive premise, accessible heroine, and biting wit will leave readers eager for more. Smart, imaginative, and evocative novel of love, betrayal, revenge, redemption, told with razor-sharp wit and affection, in which a young woman discovers the greatest superpower for good or ill is a properly executed spreadsheet. Okay, some sort of comedic, science fiction times turned horror type thing about office politics. There we go. Adam Rutherford, right, I've heard of him. The Book of Humans, the story of how we became us. Popular science, about evolution, humans. Original entertaining tour of life on Earth. Adam Rutherford explores how many of the things we once considered to be exclusively human are not. Tells the story of how we became creatures we are today. Illuminated by the latest scientific discovery, the Book of Humans is a thrilling compendium of what makes us animals and reveals how extraordinary we are among them. Okay, popular science, always interesting. And lucky last, A Ladder to the Sky. A deliciously dark tale of ambition, seduction, and literary theft. Compelling and terrifying, and powerfully intensely unsettling. Okay. Morris Swift is handsome, charming, and hungry for fame. The one thing he doesn't have is talent, but he's not about to let a detail like that stand in his way. After all, there would be a would-be writer who can't find stories anywhere they don't need to be his own. Okay, a bit of a novel. There we go. So that is the Book Grocer Mystery Box 4, all done and dusted. Not a single one that I've had before, which is really good. Seeing some quite very interesting looking things in there. I'm actually quite pleased with this box compared to the Mystery Box 3. Who knows if they'll continue bringing out these mystery boxes. I think I will wait until they have another flash sale if they have anything else available. It just worked out better for me that way. Okay, so we'll see you next video. I'm just going to sit here and look stupid for about 15 seconds so I can put the video link template on the end of this video. Cheers. Okay.